When you spend nearly 4 decades portraying a single character on one of television's most beloved soap operas, fame becomes both a blessing and a burden. For Anthony Geary, forever associated with General Hospital's iconic anti-hero Luke Spencer, success carried a complicated weight. Over 37 years, Geary transformed Luke from a short-term role into a cultural phenomenon. The legendary wedding of Luke and Laura captivated more than 30 million viewers, cementing his place in television history. Yet behind the acclaim stood a private man who often felt confined by the very character that made him famous. Fame opened doors but also narrowed perceptions, making it difficult for audiences and industry professionals to see beyond Luke. Geary's journey is not merely about celebrity, it is about identity, artistic integrity, and the quiet courage required to reclaim one's life after living so long in the public eye. Humble beginnings in Utah. Born in 1947 in Colville, Utah, Anthony Geary grew up far removed from Hollywood's spotlight. Raised in a devout Mormon household, he absorbed lessons of discipline, humility, and introspection. His father, Russell Dean Geary, was a construction contractor whose work ethic modeled perseverance, while his mother nurtured empathy and emotional awareness. These early influences shaped Geary's thoughtful and observant nature. Unlike many children who watched films for entertainment alone, he studied them closely, taking notes on performances and storytelling techniques. Even as a boy, he was drawn to morally complex characters rather than straightforward heroes. Colville's quiet rhythms instilled in him a respect for privacy and simplicity that would remain throughout his life. Though no one in his family worked in the arts, Geary felt an undeniable pull toward performance, often reenacting scenes alone in his room, exploring the depths of human behavior long before stepping onto a stage. Discovering his calling, at North Summit High School, Geary's academic strengths were uneven, but on stage he flourished. Theater offered an outlet for his emotional intelligence and creative discipline. Teachers quickly recognized that his connection to character ran deeper than memorized lines. He inhabited roles fully. A scholarship to the University of Utah became a turning point, validating his ambition to pursue acting seriously. There, he refined his craft, studying dramatic structure and emotional truth. He received the Presidential Award Scholarship for Drama, reinforcing his belief that storytelling was not merely a passion, but a vocation. During this period, his dedication to authenticity became clear. Geary resisted superficial portrayals, seeking instead the inner conflicts that defined real people. College did more than train him technically. It strengthened his resolve to follow a path that would demand resilience, adaptability, and courage far beyond the boundaries of his small hometown. A crucial break on stage. Geary's professional awakening arrived when Academy Award-winning actor Jack Albertson visited the university. Cast opposite Albertson in The Subject Was Roses, Geary impressed the veteran performer with his emotional depth. After the production closed, Albertson invited him to tour professionally, an offer that altered the trajectory of his life. Leaving Utah behind, Geary entered the demanding world of live theater, where precision and vulnerability are equally essential. Stage acting sharpened his instincts. Without retakes or edits, each performance required total commitment. Touring exposed him to diverse audiences and artistic perspectives, strengthening both confidence and discipline. These formative years grounded him in craft rather than celebrity. Long before television fame beckoned, Geary had already internalized the principle that acting is an exploration of humanity, not a pursuit of applause. The theater became the crucible in which his enduring artistic integrity was forged. Early television roles. Eventually settling in Los Angeles, Geary transitioned gradually into television. Appearances on series such as Room 222, The Streets of San Francisco, and The $6 Million Man allowed him to adapt stage intensity to the intimacy of the camera. In 1971, he appeared on All in the Family in a groundbreaking role as Roger, offering one of television's earliest nuanced portrayals of a gay character. Rather than caricature, Geary delivered quiet humanity and dignity. He later joined the daytime drama Bright Promise, gaining valuable experience in the fast-paced world of soap operas. Each role, though modest, demonstrated his capacity to infuse layered emotion into limited screen time. These performances quietly built the foundation for the opportunity that would soon define and complicate his career. The creation of Luke Spencer. When producer Gloria Monty revitalized General Hospital, she sought performers capable of emotional authenticity. Remembering Geary's earlier work, she envisioned him as Luke Spencer, initially a short-term character. Introduced in 1978, Luke was flawed, volatile, and morally ambiguous. Geary embraced those contradictions rather than smoothing them for audience approval. He portrayed Luke's darker impulses alongside vulnerability and longing for redemption. Viewers responded intensely to this complexity. What was meant to last 13 weeks evolved into decades. Luke became central to the show's identity, and Geary's performance expanded expectations for male characters in daytime drama. Instead of idealized heroes, audiences were invited to grapple with imperfection. In breathing life into Luke, Geary not only secured his place in television history, but also initiated an internal struggle between personal identity and public perception that would shadow him for years. A cultural phenomenon, Luke and Laura. The romance between Luke and Laura transformed daytime television. Their 1981 wedding drew over 30 million viewers, becoming one of the most watched events in soap opera history. The pairing turned them into the genre's first true super couple, with magazine covers and national headlines extending far beyond traditional soap audiences. For Geary, the attention was overwhelming. While viewers celebrated fairy tale devotion, he understood the narrative's complexity and controversy. Nevertheless, the storyline cemented Luke Spencer as a household name. The character's emotional intensity redefined male vulnerability on daytime screens. Fame reached extraordinary heights, yet Geary often felt uneasy amid public adoration. Interviews, red carpets, and constant recognition clashed with his introspective nature. The very success that validated his craft also threatened to eclipse his individuality, reinforcing the delicate balance between artistic triumph and personal confinement that marked much of his career. Awards and enduring recognition. Across his tenure, Geary won 8 Daytime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Lead Actor, an unprecedented achievement in the genre. The accolades acknowledged not just popularity, but sustained excellence. Over more than 1,200 episodes, he navigated Luke through triumphs, tragedies, and moral reckonings. Yet even as trophies accumulated, Geary voiced ambivalence about long-term identification with a single role. Industry casting directors struggled to envision him beyond Luke, limiting opportunities for diversification. While many actors chase longevity, Geary grappled with its consequences. He valued craft over celebrity, depth over exposure. Awards affirmed his mastery, but they did not resolve his internal conflict about being defined by one character. Still, his influence on the soap opera format remains profound. By proving audiences would invest in flawed, psychologically layered men, he expanded narrative possibilities within daytime television and inspired generations of performers who followed. A private life beyond the spotlight. Despite widespread fame, Geary guarded his personal life carefully. He rarely attended industry parties and seldom discussed relationships publicly. Speculation circulated for years, but he declined to engage, believing privacy essential to personal authenticity. After leaving General Hospital in 2015, he settled quietly in Amsterdam, embracing anonymity. There, he pursued writing, literature, and simple domestic routines. In 2025, his longtime partner, Claudio Gama, publicly acknowledged their enduring relationship, offering a rare glimpse into Geary's private happiness. The revelation was understated, reflecting the modest life he preferred. Removed from Hollywood's demands, he rediscovered freedom in ordinary experiences: cooking, reading, walking through historic streets. For Geary, fulfillment lay not in headlines, but in authenticity. His retreat was not withdrawal, but reclamation, a conscious decision to prioritize peace over perpetual performance. Health challenges and farewell. In his later years on General Hospital, persistent back pain and physical strain made filming increasingly difficult. Surgery and rehabilitation became necessary, forcing Geary to evaluate his limits. Rather than allow declining health to compromise performance quality, he chose to depart in 2015. The farewell was poignant yet dignified, preserving Luke's legacy while freeing the actor to focus on well-being. Stepping away required courage. The show had defined nearly 4 decades of his life. Yet Geary recognized that identity must extend beyond any single role. By leaving on his own terms, he affirmed agency over circumstance. His departure marked not an ending, but a transition, from relentless production schedules to reflective living. In doing so, he demonstrated that success includes knowing when to close a chapter gracefully. Legacy of complexity and authenticity. Anthony Geary's legacy extends far beyond awards or ratings. Through Luke Spencer, he introduced emotional nuance and moral ambiguity into daytime storytelling. He challenged viewers to empathize with imperfection and redefined expectations for male leads. Yet perhaps his most profound achievement lies in his insistence on authenticity, both on screen and off. By ultimately choosing privacy and personal fulfillment over sustained celebrity, he modeled a different vision of success. His life illustrates that artistic devotion need not demand lifelong sacrifice of self. For audiences who cherished Luke and Laura, the memories endure. But understanding the man behind the character enriches that legacy. Anthony Geary's journey reminds us that behind every icon stands a human being seeking balance, integrity, and peace. In embracing a quieter existence, he proved that the greatest triumph may be living fully and truthfully on one's own terms.